Okay, so now we are about to cut out some doors for the modern cabinets that I've been building. And I actually had already set up the program originally, so I'm going to pull this up. I had made some changes, so I'm going to come back in here to the toolpath and actually delete it. And then we'll reset it. What I'll do is I'll turn the layers on so you can see what we have. So here's everything here. What I want to do now is I actually want to highlight these hinge holes, hinge pockets. This is the pockets for your European style hinges. Instead of drilling them with a Forstner bit, I'm gonna do it on the machine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna highlight these that I know need to move. Because I'm using some 1/2-inch overlay hinges. I don't have time to get to 3/4, so I'm just gonna adjust these holes to fit that. So I'm gonna come over here to the left. I'm gonna do a relative to the full where everything's at. We're going to move it 1/4 of an inch relative to the position it's in now. So 0.25, we'll hit enter, and all 6 of those will move up. And then we're going to deselect, and then we're going to select these other ones. And we're going to move them Y position minus 0.25. And that'll bring them down this direction. Okay, so we should be good on all those. Now we're going to go back up to our layers up here and turn the main layer section off so that I can drill these holes. So we'll highlight all of these. Actually, before we do that, let's go up here. I know that I've already checked actually let's check the thickness on the plywood with a micrometer. So got a digital micrometer here. We'll zero it out. And then we'll check it. We are 757, 757, 758. So what I'll do is I'll take up here and go, I've got it set for 0.755. We'll go 760. And then I'll hit OK. Now I can go make sure these are highlighted, and then we're going to drill. We're going to go to the pocket tool, which is the tool that would cut out your dados or rabbets, rebates, and we are going to go to a depth of 0.57 down to drill out for that, and got the right bit in there. Everything else looks good, so we're going to label this hinge holes. We'll hit calculate, and then you'll see it calculates the tool path. And I'm actually going to speed this way down, which is still going to go fast, but you'll see it go through real fast. And so now you see the holes in the 3D pattern here. So we'll close that out, and we'll go back to the 2D view, and then we're going to turn the holes off and turn the main layers on of the doors. And then I will highlight those, and then we'll go to the cutout. Now here we're going to cut out, but we need to go deeper. So it's still showing the 0.57, and we set that to 0.760 earlier, so I'm going to add 0.020. So we're going to go up to 0.78. I want it to cut out at 0.78. And it's got we need to go to the outside right of these. We're going to do a separate last pass at 0.05 inches. What that'll do is it'll do 6 passes one direction, and it'll back up for the final pass and just kind of clean the edges up. Then we're going to add tabs, which you see that it adds all the tabs where they are. And then we're going to do cutout. Now when I hit calculate, it's going to throw up a warning and say you're going to cut through your table or through your material all the way into the table. And I already know that because I made it do that. Now I'll speed this up just a little bit, and then you'll see as it cuts. Actually, we're going to speed up a little quicker than that. So now it's speeding up 2 times, 3 times. What this will do is it will give you a visual reference of what is happening, and then it'll do its last cut, and now I can actually see the blue background underneath there, which means that it did cut all the way through. If it was to go all the way through here and do its final cut and it didn't show the background in there, then something's wrong and I'll have to go back in there and reset it. So far it looks like it's cutting right. I'm going to go ahead and speed it up the rest of the way. Or I got a little bit more I can go, but speed up quicker, save some time. And there we go. Everything looks right, so I'm going to hit close. I'm going to go back to the 2D view, turn the pocket holes on, and then I'm going to check mark the tool paths here, and it's going to show little arrows on everything. And then I'm going to come over here and save it. And I'm going to save it as, I already had it hinge pockets G code, so I'm going to go ahead and label it that. Save that. Yep. Okay. Now it's saved. Now we should be able to bring our CNC up to the front. On my screen, I've actually got a preset for the CNC to come up and touch off. You have to do a touch off on the Z head so that it knows where this plywood is. And so we're going to bring it up to that preset that I have. We're going to hit for it to come forward. And then I'll run this cord here. I'm going to attach the magnet up to the top of this spindle. Bring the head down some. Attach the magnet to the spindle, and then I'm going to turn the bit where it's facing the proper way that I know it's going to ask me. And then I'm going to do a touch off. So I hit the corner I want to touch off at, make sure it says 25.25 for 1/4 of an inch. It'll go down and touch. If I don't have the magnet on there, it would simply just try to keep pushing through and break everything. So that magnet, it's got electricity that runs through it, tells it when to stop. Now it says orient the flutes to the y-axis, which means this way, so I've done that. Now it's going to go to the y-axis, touch off the corner. And then I know it's going to ask for the x-axis, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the bit that way and hit OK. And there we go. We should be good to go. I'll get the camera turned over here in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and load up the G code that we just created. Hinge pocket G code. You'll see it pull up here. So it shows that it's going to do all of the little holes first, and then it'll come back and cut everything out. I'll turn the dust collector on, and then I'll get the camera moved over. Okay, so I do not normally stop, or I do not normally follow the machine with a small vacuum like that. The dust collection is more than adequate, but with MDF, this stuff it cuts so fine that sometimes it packs down in there pretty hard, and I have to come back anyway with a screwdriver or something to vacuum and clean it out. So I figured I had a few moments, so I would just go ahead and do this behind it just to see how it did, and actually did really good. Also, you saw the machine stop at a certain point when it got back to the back. I had to come back over here. On the machine, there is a soft limit or a spot that the machine will not go past without you telling it to, because it doesn't want to crash. And so what I did was come back over here and told it, okay, you can go past that point, and then I hit cycle start again, and then it picked back up where it left off. So now everything's done. Time to start removing everything off here. Okay, we are now towards the end. We're about to install this job, and so what I like to do is I like to get everything together just before we actually go do the install, so that I can make sure that I don't see anything that needs to be touched up or changed or what have you. Again, this is going to be sitting underneath a countertop, so when you come into the house, you would be coming in from this side here. You're going to see just this side here, and then as you make your way around into the dining room, there's going to be a dining table sitting here, and then you'll see all the doors that'll be on the front side of this. No hardware on the doors. We're actually going to do a push to open, and then there'll be soft closed doors, so they'll pretty much just blend in. I've got a trim board that runs the full length of the upper section and a trim board that runs the full length of the lower section. And so what I'll do is put the trim board down. I'll slide these cabinets in, slide the trim board in. It's going to be very, very tight. May have just very little wiggle room, and I may end up having to bump them in just a little bit. They'll almost be wedged in, and then I can find out where I want to put my screws at. And I do know that we have a outlet somewheres in the center here. I don't remember exactly where it is, so once we get on site, we'll have to cut out that so that she can have access to it. But I like to get everything together and then kind of see where we're at. Once we get the doors on there, the doors will be 3/4 of an inch thick, plus your little gap for your little bumpers and your hinges. So what I'll do is this trim board will actually come out or go back in just a little bit, depending on where I need it. And then I've got some 3/4 inch wide by 1/4 inch thick trim that are 12 feet long, I think. I got 3 pieces of them, and what they'll do is they'll actually attach to the board up here and to the board down here and run the full length, and then come and they'll wrap around and then wrap up and then wrap back this way. And the point of that is really it's just to cover the gap that is where this is going to be against the wall, because your walls are never ever plumb, and so you may have a gap up here and it'd be tight down here, or a gap down here and tight up here. So we want to run that trim down there to kind of cover that up. Anyway, so this is where we are now. I've already got the adjustable shelves sitting in place. I wanted to see how everything looked and appealed. I'll grab a door real quick and give you a preview. So we'll get the door in place, and I'll set it on top on the trim board there, and then you see I've got just a little bit of wiggle room up and down, not a whole lot, but enough to where we can I can adjust like I need. So now this trim board can either come out or go in, and I've got another piece of trim going there like I was talking about, so it'll cover as I need. And anyway, so now what I'm gonna do is all the holes are already drilled on the doors. Remember, we did that on the CNC, so now I've just got to go in, put all the hinges in these doors, come in here, and then put them where I need them to be at. We'll go ahead and get all that done today as well, and then we're ready to load up, ready to go out for the job site. you.